Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video we're going to be taking a look at my cousin Omega Red. First off, just a couple of fights in Realm of Legends just to check out his damage, and spoiler alert, he is the champion I typically like to farm my potions with just because of how quickly and efficiently he kills. And in Realm of Legends you don't have to worry about level 3s, so that's a huge bonus. And yeah, I absolutely love using him for potion farming. Now we are using Sabertooth and Wolverine synergy in this video. They do help out his damage output by quite a bit, and as we can see here, we're 33 hits in and Winter Soldier is already melting away. And also do keep in mind that his level 2 is like 9 hits or something, so keeping that in mind, basically we have gotten to first level 2 and he was halfway down his health. And we're not even playing all that perfectly in this fight. Quite often we can do it more efficiently, but that's why we're going to take a look at Captain Marvel fight as well. But as the fight's going background, few quick things about Omega Red. So he is fully poison immune. He is also 90% bleed immune. That means he still can get bleed debuffs on him, but they hardly do any damage for most part, and that results in a healing via willpower. Also, while Omega Red is bleeding, he accesses his death field, which basically amps up his damage and max spore count to 30. So Winter Soldier went down in 69 hits and less than a minute and 20 seconds, I believe. So, back to Omega Red's abilities. Basically, whenever you're close to opponents are going to start to gain your death spores. When you hit 10, they start to take damage via your signature ability. Therefore, Omega Red has to be awakened in order to access his awesome damage. With heavy, you can kind of place a degen on opponent based on how many spores you have is going to be the strength of the degen. Also, that will lock in your death spores, which is extremely important, which is typically how you bait out opponent's special attack and deal with their power. Level 2 has access to death field that ups the maximum spore count to 30 and basically deals extra damage. Level 1 and level 3 eat up all your spores and heal you up. Level 3 also kind of power leeches from opponents, so it drains opponent's power and gives you power, which can be really useful in certain situations. And that level 3 heal is massive. Few additional points of Omega Red. He can prevent opponents from shrugging off debuffs depending on the number of spores you have on opponent at the given time. Also, his tentacle hits ignore all passive damage such as Korg or Electro, and it even can bypass Magic's Limbo, which we're going to show in a bit in the video. And also, depending on spore count, you have a set percent of chance for your tentacle hits to be unblockable. So 79 hits, less than 3 minutes to take down 2 Realm of Legends opponents. This is the way I farm potions, basically. And now we're going to take a look at Road to the Labyrinth Kamala Khan, and more importantly, Spiked Armor node. So first things first, our tentacle hits can ignore damage from Spiked Armor, which is awesome, which is something that not too many champions can do. And also we're going to be demonstrating the heal in this fight, because we are going to build up to level 3 and see how much we can regenerate. So we're going to take some block damage here and there, play a bit sloppy, and we're not going to have the maximum amount of death spores, because on maximum amount of death spores that heal can heal you up for over 40%, I believe, from your max health. And I have shown that on my channel previously. I have some Omega Red versus Labyrinth footage, full Labyrinth path with Omega Red, and also Nameless Thanos takedown with Omega Red. You might want to check out those videos. But anyways, let's get into our level 3. So first cool thing is we do not have to worry about pushing opponent level 3 while using our own level 3, because even they get to level 3, so long as they even had 1 death spore on, we're going to be power leeching them and we're going to be regening. As you can see here, we went from 80 to 100%, even only on 14 death spores, and that's amazing. That power gain we got also kind of depends on death spores, just as heal. So if we do our level 3 on 30 spores, then we basically recover 2 bars of power, which is perfect for us to reactivate the death field and kind of carry on the fight in a good pace. So as we can see here, Omega Red can pretty much ignore the spiked armor, especially if we would kind of give it a bit more thought and we wouldn't resort to light attacks, because all of his mediums and heavy attack are tentacle hits, so we can always medium or medium heavy whenever we get the chance, and we can absolutely 100% ignore all of the spiked armor damage. Same would go for Electro and Korg damages back. But as we can see here, Kamala is nearly dead at 4%, and we're just gonna let her degen to death. So next fight we're gonna be taking a look at is gonna be Magic and the final quest of this month, Uncollected Phantasmagoria. So yeah, we're again using our 334 star, I believe, and we're gonna have no problem dealing with this huge magic by comparison. And as we're gonna show here in a bit, we can absolutely ignore that limbo damage from the times when we push her past bars of power. She can still hurt us with limbo when she activates her special attacks, but that typically is only 1 second long and doesn't do too much. But as you can see here, we triggered limbo and our health is not diminishing. Why is that? Because that is still classed as a passive damage, and Omega Red completely ignores all passive damage as a result of tentacle hits, and that also extends the full duration of those 3 second limbos. So that is extremely handy, and I have used the same tactic against Labyrinth of Legends magic with Omega Red, and it is definitely a nice piece of utility to have. Now we're gonna take our 334 star in Act 5, last chapter, and against that massive Electro that is pain in the bottom to face. And once again we're using our small 4-star Omega Red just to demonstrate that tentacle hits completely bypass all the Electro's damage back. The same would go against Korg, and it is a super easy fight for Omega Red. Now we still obviously need to be careful when taking block damage and stuff like that, and his level 1 isn't the easiest to evade. So the goal is to basically maintain as many spores as we can on opponent and just use our medium and heavy attacks, which is not difficult to do. So now we reactivated our Death Field, which is awesome. Took a hit in a block and that did hurt us. That should show you guys how much of a electro damage we would take if we would do this fight normally. But so far the fight is going steady. He's at 18 death spores and 12% life, and we didn't take any damage from his ability. We only took 1 hit in the block, and the fight should be over pretty much here. So once again, Omega Red absolutely shines. So now we're going to turn it up a bit, pick our maxed out 5-star Max Sig, and go straight into Act 6. So first of all, 6.1 no retreat node. As you can see here, first parry, Agent Venom did shrug off. However, we had 8 spores on him and he did not shrug it off. He doesn't also shrug off our debuff Degeneration from heavy attack. It's just because once we're up to 10 spores, he pretty much can't shrug off anything. And as you can see here, no retreat node, not an issue. He isn't even gonna get close to his level 3. So 17 hits, Act 6 fight on no retreat is over. So now we're going to go to 616, Hurt Locker, and Black Panther. So first of all, this is Armor Break Immunity, Hurt Locker, and Sharpened Claws. Basically, he's going to inflict bleed to us every time he strikes our block. However, since we're 90% immune to the bleed, we don't particularly care about it. I will make a slip up later on in this video, but we're going to have to wait and see for that one. As you can see here, for now, this Black Panther is just absolutely melting away. 13 hits in, he's already pretty much on half health. Now, I do punish that with my heavy attack. I always forget Black Panther's ability that so long as Black Panther has armor ups, once we hit him with a heavy attack, he has a chance to go unstoppable. So yeah, there is that. I always tend to forget about it. But anyway, so the fight is over here. Super easy for Omega Red. Even though we did get punished, we still have plenty of health to move on. And now we're going to take a look at Killmonger. Now, Killmonger is a great matchup for Omega due to a few reasons. Number one, and on this node, he also has Fearless, means 70% chance to purify debuffs. However, Omega Red can completely bypass it with his ability. If we have plenty spores on, he's not going to purify anything. And second of all, our tentacle hits do not take any reverb damage. Additionally, Sharpened Claws do not do us any harm, so Omega Red can pretty much just waltz in this fight, swing out his big tentacles and go home like a beast, hardly breaking a sweat. So here we are, 18 hits in, and Killmonger is just absolutely melting away. We still do need to watch out for his power gain, but that's not too big of an issue. Note to mention once again is Sabertooth synergy does help Omega Red a lot to keep his spores up, because otherwise they do build slower and fall up quicker. So everything we see in this video is done with Sabertooth synergy just to kind of make it more graphic and make it more visible exactly what Omega Red does. So 30 hits, 616 opponent goes down, not a problem. Now another fight in 6-2-1, a life cycle node. Now first thing to note is damage over time debuffs under this node deal no damage. So our degen from heavy attack deals no damage. Everything we can see here is basically just our damage from our spores. But on the bright side, Omega Red's playstyle in itself involves kind of throwing a lot of heavy attacks and stuff. And that pretty much already kind of warms up the life cycle node for when you're going to be close to finishing the opponents off. Also, additionally to all of that, when opponents do get to low health, our spores are simply going to help to immediately kill them as soon as they get knocked down. So as we saw there, 27 hits and that life cycle node is pretty much irrelevant. Now another strong suit of Omega Red is all the nodes that make him bleed, like Biohazard, Caltrops, or flat out bleed nodes are just perfect for this guy, just because he's gonna have his death filled up all the time, and in addition that means that his damage is gonna go insane. Omega Red is one of the best answers, if not the best answer, for that 6-1-5 crossbones that everybody kind of gets stuck on. So Omega Red can solo that fight super easily. As we saw here, 17 hits and Thor went down. And that is exactly why I really do enjoy using Omega Red. It's just because he kills stuff so quickly, so easily, so effortlessly. Most majority of the fights are over before opponents get to level 3, even when you're facing stuff like Act 6. So that is definitely something impressive. And now we're taking a look at Aspect of War Rhino that also has close encounters on. Basically we need to stay close to opponent at all times, otherwise we're going degening. However, Omega Red basically prefers that playstyle anyway, so we just get a free regen for most part, because we do want to build up our spores. And as you can see here, 34 hits, the bulky Rhino goes down, and like 9-10 of those hits without level 2. And now, just to kind of show how insane the damage can be, and that you can play Omega Red in some different manners, we're going to be using him for all or nothing fights here. So we're on all or nothing, and we're going to be killing all of these fools before they reach their level 3. So in order to do that, we just basically need to stay close to opponent. Do not damage them too much. I did make a slip up here, but the base idea is do not hit them a lot and just try and refresh your degeneration while your heavy attacks. And that is another important thing for Omega Red. You can play him in multiple different ways and kind of accustomed to what kind of situations you need to be in, and that just shows how versatile the character can be and how useful his way of damaging opponents is. So as you can see here, we're 14 hits in, and this War Machine is on like 16%. He's at 2 bars. At this point we could finish the fight off if we wanted to with level 2. We don't have to. Also, we can power steal with our level 3 once we get to it, so we still have another kind of like extension to this fight should we not be able to kill him before he reached 3 bars of power. And the best part is he did it pretty much effortless. We did not have to like really struggle in that fight or do some insane tricks or rush too much. We just had to stay close to opponent, throw some heavy attacks, and they simply went down. So now, as the final few fights on this lane are happening in the background, I'm gonna give my overall kind of thoughts about Omega Red. So many people ask me, does Omega Red need to have suicides on in order to be kind of like god tier champion? The short answer is yes. He's great without suicides. He is very sustainable. You can feel completely different feel to the character, though. The fights go a lot slower. It is a lot harder to build up to those insane amounts of death spores. He's going to be a great champion if you don't run suicides, but he's an absolutely amazing champion if you do run suicides, so keep that in mind. Also, he does need high signature, as high as possible, ideally sig 200. That is a downside to him, and he does rely quite a bit on Sabertooth synergy, because that does let you build your spores quicker and they do not fall off as fast. So without the Sabertooth synergy, you have a lot less room for error, and those are the biggest downsides of him. However, ability to heal from suicides, his general ability to heal while level 1 and level 3, his insane amount of damage, his immunity to poison, and the ability to heal on bleed is just insane. Also, his tentacle hit utilities, the fact that they can become unblockable, can be shrugged off, can bypass Korg, put him on top of the tier list. he is definitely a top 5 champion in the game currently. As we can see, every single new piece of content that's coming out, Omega Red is at least a good option for it, if not the best. So I hope this video helped you guys, and maybe you found out something new about Omega Red, and well, at the very least you found out my opinion about him. But that is going to be me done for today. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do not be lazy. Hit that sub button, hit that like button, hit that share button, show it to your alliance mates. And I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.